What if I told you that the things you hate most in other people are actually revealing something important about yourself? Today, we're diving into shadow work, a powerful psychological tool that can transform how you understand yourself and your relationships. Hello, and welcome to Mindful Overthinker. I'm Antara, and today we're exploring one of psychology's most fascinating concepts: shadow work. If you're an overthinker like me, I'm sure you've wondered about why certain people trigger you or why you keep repeating the same patterns in your life. This video is for you. Shadow work comes from Carl Jung, the famous psychiatrist who gave us concepts like introversion and extroversion. But what exactly is the shadow? Think of your personality like an iceberg. The part above water, that's your conscious self, the you present to the world. But below the surface, that's your shadow. All the parts of yourself you've hidden, denied, or pushed away. Your shadow might contain emotions you were taught were bad, like anger or jealousy, traits or qualities that you judge or don't like about others, dreams and desires that you've given up on, and parts of yourself that no longer fit your self-image. Now, the problem is your shadow doesn't just disappear, it's always there, influencing you from the unconscious, often showing up as triggers, projections onto others, and repeated patterns you cannot seem to break. Why shadow work matters? Here's the thing, we all have a shadow, but when we ignore it, it starts controlling us. Ever notice how you can have an instant, intense dislike for someone you've just met? Or how certain types of people just push your buttons? That's often your shadow talking. Jung called this projection, when we attribute qualities that actually belong to us onto other people. For example, if you were raised to always be nice and never show anger, you might have a strong reaction to someone who is straightforward or confrontational. So your anger didn't disappear. It went into your shadow. Now, shadow work is not about becoming these rejected parts. It's about understanding them. It's about acknowledging them so they stop unconsciously running your life. When you integrate your shadow, you become whole, authentic, and free. You are throwing light on the parts that were hidden and unaccepted for so long. So how do you actually work with your shadow? Here are some practical techniques. Notice your triggers. Triggers are usually signs that something hidden inside you wants attention. A trigger often feels like a sudden, intense emotional reaction that feels bigger than the situation. Have you ever felt way too angry when someone interrupted you or disagreed with you? Or unusually jealous when a friend succeeded? Or deeply hurt by a small comment? Ask yourself, is my reaction proportional to what just happened? If not, it might be a shadow. Notice repeated patterns. If the same kind of person or situation keeps bothering you, that's a clue. For example, if overconfident people always irritate you, it might point to an unacknowledged part of yourself that wants to be more confident. Explore your judgments. Make a list of people you dislike or judge. Be specific. What qualities bother you? If you think someone is very selfish, you might be masking the fact that you deny your own needs and feel guilty about putting yourself first. Remember, if it didn't exist in you somewhere, you probably wouldn't have such a strong reaction. You just wouldn't care. Observe your body. Your body reacts before your mind does. Tightness in your chest, heavy breathing, these are signals that something deeper than the surface is being touched. Journal your reactions. When you feel triggered by something, write down what happened. How did it make you feel? What story did your mind start telling? And where else in your life do you feel that way? When you do this repeatedly, you will start noticing patterns that point to hidden wounds or suppressed qualities. Do introspective shadow journaling. Use prompts like, what makes me feel the most jealous? What's the biggest lie I tell myself? When was the last time I forgave myself? What am I most ashamed of in myself? This will help you notice the hidden parts of yourself, the triggers, the fears, the insecurities that usually run in the background. Now, before you dive in, here are some important things to remember. Go slowly. Shadow work can bring up intense emotions. Take breaks, practice self-care, and don't try to process everything at once. Get support. When you dive into shadow work, you might uncover layers of pain, trauma, or memories that might feel too big to carry alone. And that's completely normal. A therapist, a coach, or even a trusted guide can walk with you through it, because healing doesn't have to be lonely. Be kind and compassionate. Why do you think you developed all these patterns? To just protect yourself. Approach your shadow with kindness and compassion, not judgment. Integration, not elimination. Shadow work isn't about erasing the parts of you that feel dark or messy. It's about seeing them clearly and welcoming them back so they no longer run your life from the background. Shadow work is not easy, but it's some of the most important work you can do for yourself. When you start acknowledging and understanding your shadow, you'll realize that you're less triggered by other people, more authentic in your relationships, and more in tune with your true potential. Remember, everyone has a shadow. It's part of being human. It's not about whether you have a shadow, it's about choosing to face it consciously. So, what's the one thing that always triggers you in other people? Drop it in the comments. You might be surprised at what patterns emerge. And don't forget, awareness is the first step to transformation. If you found this helpful, give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what shadow work techniques you want to try. And if you want more content on psychology, self-help, and spirituality, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.